Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of things before we begin our service. We've been emphasizing some different teams and committees in our church monthly. This month is emphasizing the work of our Immigrant Support Committee. And this announcement is from them. Are you interested in learning if it's true that immigrant workers don't always get paid for their work? Do you wonder what's going on at the Texas-Mexico border? The Immigrant Support Committee invites you to stay after services today for light lunch, immediately followed by the film Building the American Dream at 12:30. The producer, Chelsea Hernandez, will be here for a discussion afterwards. Next Sunday, join us to discuss the situation at the border after the services. And Wes Cosgrove will be updating us on that. St. Andrews has a reputation of helping immigrants, so let's commit to learning more and imagining what we could accomplish together as a church. Another meeting happening today is Earth Care. This is after the service as well. This is their last meeting until August, and I believe they are tempting folks with food as well. This will be today, and this one takes place in the Sunday school room at the end of the children's hall. And it says, watch for signs. So there are signs everywhere. Every now and then I say that we don't come up with things and highlight things because we think you're bored and need something else to do. It's been my observation that in liberal churches, people are busy doing things they care about and doing things they're passionate about. But see if you can find something that lights your fire, something that lends meaning to your life. Let's begin our service.
Slightly gray day, it feels bright in here, and that's because you're all here. We're so happy that you're here in person or you're here on Zoom. Let's wave to the Zoom people. Hi, everybody. That's always an option for us when we can't make it in person. And we also have people who are here on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, we ask you to like us and to share us. And that helps us to extend our reach. We have friendship tablets. They look like this on every aisle. Please, everyone sign in. We'd love to know who's here. If you are new, and you sign your email address, we'll send you a weekly email. We promise we won't overwhelm you, but it'll give you information on classes and on all the things that are happening, and give the Zoom links for church and so forth. Today, I would like to recognize some new members. The Romig family joined our church a few weeks ago, and I'm going to have them stand up. You know that there they are. This is Elizabeth and James and Robert and Liam Romig. Did I do that in the right order? That's Liam and Jim. I realized as I said it, it was wrong. I'm so sorry. Robert and Elizabeth work for the Sunset Commission and Los Alamos National Labs. And Robert has joined our finance committee, and we just love having the boys involved in our church program. So get to know them. They're an amazing addition to our church. Today we will also be having a Meet the Ministers luncheon. It's a light luncheon. It's mostly very relaxed to meet the staff and to meet other visitors and to meet other members of the church. It's no pressure, and it's just a chance to get together. So that will be back directly after church in the sunrise room. And now let us come together in community.
Dear friends, please share in the reading of our call to community. We pause this morning from the chaos of the world to reclaim the beauty within these walls that carries us through our week. We lift this community onto our shoulders with pride and grace-filled expectations for our children and our children's children.
Please rise as you're able.
Good morning. Thank you. I want to welcome the young at Young at Heart up here for our children's time this morning. And if you see bags of food in the aisles, those are bags for our food pantry. Will you please help me and bring those up?
Good morning. Everybody awake? Not here, raise your hand.
Hello to all my wonderful friends.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, guess what? This is so funny. I decided my preacher, Reverend Dr. Skunky, to do the sermon today. I hope it's okay with the whole church.
Mr. Monkey, you can't just invite your preacher to come here.
Hello, precious lambs of God. Let's begin with my favorite part of worship, the offering. Won't you give generously? You there, don't you want to give your shoes to the Reverend Skunky Ministry? All proceeds go to build my beautiful Cathedral of the Holy Smirk.
Wait, Reverend Skunky, the children are here for the children's time. They don't have money for an offering.
You know, I once went to the beach and saw 2 sets of footprints. And then I realized skunks have 4 legs, so that makes sense. Now, let's do another offering, shall we?
No, wait, Reverend Skunky. Church is about gratitude and love. Let's think about things we are grateful for. Young people, what is something you're grateful for today? What? Your family, yes. We're grateful for them too, including you. Anybody else?
Someone's thinking for their mom.
Oh, grateful for mommy wherever she is. Lorraine?
The rain.
The rain. Oh, grateful for the rain. Oh, all right. Good.
Okay, well, that's enough gratitude. Dr. Skunky, what is our sermon title today?
Well, precious lambs of God, our sermon is number 900 in my sermon series entitled, Who God is Mad at This Time. Last week I told you God is mad at the man who cut me off in traffic. Today I want to talk about the man who...
Reverend Skunky, God is love. Jesus taught us to forgive, not to judge.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
All right. Then today I want to talk about how Hortense is trying to cancel my sermon. Horses are like that, young people. They don't love Jesus like we do.
Well, all right. Let's just ask the young people about this. Young people, is God hate or love? Love. Very good. Now I've lost my place. Did Jesus tell us to judge each other or to forgive? Forgive, that's right. This church, we try to love everyone.
See, I told you, Reverend Skunky,
Yeah.
she's one of those lovey-dovey Christians.
Yeah.
Christians. Her Bible doesn't even have a flag on it.
Well, let's do our closing hymn, Spank Me, Jesus. Did we do the offering already?
You tried to do the offering twice,
Oh, all right.
and we are not doing a hymn called Spank Me, Jesus. God is love, right, young people? Thank you all for being here We love you just the way you are. Now let's do a song about celebrating life.
Will y'all help me do it?
No
Okay.
spanking, no.
Okay. This is a song, I'm kind of old. I don't know if you figured that out or not yet. So this is a song from when I was younger. It's called Celebrate. It goes, I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate. That's because I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Then the chorus goes, don't let it all bring you down. Oh no, don't let it turn you around. It's very simple. If you can't remember that part, that's fine. I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. You ready? Good clapping there. I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Don't let it all bring you down, no, no. Don't let it turn you around. I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Don't let it all bring you down, no, no. Don't let it turn you around. One more time. I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Don't let it all bring you down, no, no. Don't let it turn you around. Very good. Thank you so much.
Before we go back to chapel or nursery, depending on how old you are, we have something special we want to do today, and that is to recognize all of our teachers who made Sunday school and chapel and youth program possible this year. We have all of their names up here, and this time last year, we didn't have a children's program that was really running. We were coming back from COVID, so we had to restart everything, and this amazing group of people pulled all of that together to start Sunday school and chapel and youth group last summer. So please, if you're here and you're one of our volunteers, will you please come up to the stage? I know you love it. We want to recognize these wonderful people. We have a flower to give them, to just thank them for all of the love and the care and the time and then the energy and imagination that they've put into the program this year. All right, just one more big round of applause for these wonderful Thank you. So, kiddos, if you want to come back with me and Miss Carrie for chapel, you are invited Today, we're just going to celebrate. This is the end of the school year. We're just going to have a big party and play on the playground. It's going to be fun. If you have little ones who are under 4, there is a nursery just down the back of the hall. You can follow us if you want to try that out.
Gentleness has melted many a hardened heart, warming away the numbness, giving love a brand new start. Gentleness brings comfort, like a soft summer rain cradling each weary child from the hunger and the pain. Gentleness smiles upon those who try to meet every challenge in the path without bowing to defeat. Gentleness comes to nurture those who have forgotten how to sing, and with loving arms encircles their lives with healing dreams. Gentleness walks a sacred path tenderly through the years, comforting every soul in need, and through caring dries their tears.
This is the time, to borrow from the hymn we sang a few minutes ago, this is the time when we come to the peace which fills this space. It's a time of prayer, meditation, whatever it is that works best for you. And just to lift up some of the concerns of our community as we approach this time of prayer. Martha asked for prayers as she undergoes some diagnostic testing this next week. And Justin lifts up the family of his friend Ben, who passed away this past week in West Texas. He lifts up his daughter, his brother, his dad, and his girlfriend, who all are dealing with this unexpected and sudden loss. We also remember all of our friends who continue to be on hospice care and have been for some time now. The beauty of hospice care is that it gives you comfort and eases your pain, and oftentimes does help you to live longer. And so the members of our community that are continuing on hospice care are Roger and Joyce and Walter and James. And so we lift them up, as well as their families and friends and caretakers who are taking care of them. And we have 2 new joys in our community. We lift up Kyle and Marissa, who have a daughter now, a daughter named Marilyn Kate, who was born on the 10th of May. She weighed 8 pounds and was 20 inches long. And then we also rejoice with Lainey and Yelka over the birth of their new great-nephew, Asher Charles, who was born on Thursday. And he's home now and doing well, along with his mom and his dad and his dog named Biscuit. And if you get the opportunity to see the picture that Lainey has on her phone, and perhaps Yelka does too, I don't know, but Biscuit is having a hard time when the baby cries. Biscuit is a large dog who jumps on his dad's shoulders for his dad to hold him every time the baby cries. It's a delightful picture. And so please join us in this time of prayer. Gracious Spirit of love embodied in all of us, we bring our thoughts to our world as we know it. Some of us are struggling with political leaders throughout our state, nation, and the world who seem to have lost their moral compass.
They're called to serve all people and to seek to create true equality for all whom they serve. Our thoughts also go out to other members of our one human family who seem to be taking out their frustration in ways that do more harm than good, through violence, through apathy, through just simply shutting down. May we all stay grounded in who we are, who we were created to be, and continue to be the change we want to see in this world. We lift up thoughts, hope, and support for all those who suffer from illnesses of the body, mind, or spirit. May they know that they are loved, and may they find moments of peace in the midst of their struggles. We celebrate new life. We celebrate new beginnings. We celebrate new opportunities and challenges that help to keep us living life to the fullest. May our hearts be big, our footprints on this planet be smaller, and may we always remember our call to be a loving presence in our hurting yet hopeful world. We lift up all our thoughts, hopes, and dreams in all your many precious names. Amen.
This morning we have two scriptures. The first is Matthew 7. Ask and keep asking, and you will receive. Seek and keep seeking, and you will find. Knock and keep knocking, and the door will be open to you. For the one who keeps asking receives. The one who keeps seeking finds. And the one who keeps knocking enters. Is there any among you who would hand your child a stone when they ask for bread? Would one of you hand them a snake when they ask for a fish? If you, with all your faults, could know how to give your children what is good, how much more will God in heaven give good things to those who ask? Therefore, treat others as you would have them treat you. This is the whole meaning of the law and the prophets. Our next reading is from the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Wisdom shines brightly and never fades. She is easily seen by those who love her, and she is easily found by those who seek her. She reveals herself to all who desire to know her, and those who rise early to search for her will not grow weary of the journey, for they will find her seated at their door. To ponder her is the fullness of wisdom, and to pursue her is to soon find peace of mind. She searches the far ends of the earth for those who are worthy of her, and she appears to them on their daily path with kindness, meeting them halfway in their journeys. The true meaning of wisdom is the desire to learn, and to be passionate about learning is to love her. The love of wisdom means keeping her laws at all times. Keeping her standards assures you of immortality, and staying pure brings you close to God. In this way, the desire for wisdom leads you to true sovereignty. If you who rule over people and wish to keep your thrones and symbols of power, then honor wisdom so that you may lead forever. Ancient words for our present day consideration.
this is your first time at St. Andrews, we're in a series. I'm trying to compare like traditional verses that you've probably heard if you're from the Protestant tradition with mystical Jewish passages that are in the Catholic Bible. They're not in the Protestant Bible. We're doing a series on Sophia, and that was the feminine name of wisdom. The religion you probably heard if you were raised in the United States is of European origin. Right? The early church developed in the Middle East. It was a mixture of Africa and India and yes, some of Europe too. But what happened when Christianity got to Europe is that it was changed and it became about power. In the early church, everything got back to compassion, wisdom, gentleness. But once this message hit Europe, it was transformed where Jesus became a king. See, before there was some of that imagery used. But the church, the culture in which the church developed, believed in hierarchical power. That righteousness is keeping this hierarchical pecking order straight. And whereas that was the last thing Jesus believed or taught, it became traditional. And so there became kind of a pecking order for humankind. And that still is imposed on much of the world today. So today we're going to look at this passage, ask, seek, knock. You've heard it before, probably your whole life. But you may have never been given permission to realize that the traditional version doesn't work. Ask and you will receive. Is there anybody here who's ever asked for anything in prayer and didn't get it? Anybody? Has there ever been anything that you sought for with all of your being, and yet you were still not able to find it? Have you ever knocked on a door and it just didn't open? This passage is very different when we look at it from the viewpoint of the original Christianity. It's about wisdom. It's about compassion. It's about understanding. It's not about obedience. It's not about memorizing beliefs. Because belief is something very different than wisdom. If you make a selfish prayer, even if you get that, you're still not really equipped to help other people. Right? You got your needs met. But originally, prayer was a moment of transformation where you went deep in your heart and you discovered this profound love for all humankind. That's what we need to get back to. I'm so grateful that you're willing to listen to this series. Some of it's not that easy. But I believe we want to give our children something that we didn't receive. And that is a religion that works scientifically, a religion that works in terms of human rights, a religion that isn't scared of change. What a gift that would be. The traditional view of prayer is not always real helpful. We got politicians that after every school shooting send out thoughts and prayers. Oh God, please save our children from our political policies. Wake up, God. Stop letting us hurt each other. If we go deeper in our heart, that's going to change. And one of the things that you can't see in English that's right there in the Greek, and this translator tried to get some of that out, but when it goes ask and seek, ask means to continually ask. So we're not talking about a one-time request. We're talking about a way of living. And then the second word, a very strange tense that we don't have in English, where you arrive at the condition of already receiving what you're looking for. You're already there, and you suddenly realize it. So if you continually ask, you will find yourself in the situation of having received what you were really looking for. If you seek, you will find yourself continually as a way of life. You will find yourself in the condition of having found what you're looking for. If you knock on the door continually, you'll find it will have opened for you. So we're going to walk through the ASK, but we're going to move from an idea of prayer as a conversation with an invisible magic person who's going to grant your wish, to going deeper into your understanding, into your compassion, going deeper in your heart until you are transformed into love, into kindness, into understanding. So the first thing we're going to look at is the idea of ask and you will receive. I've chosen a great slide for this first one. Probably my strongest memories of childhood bliss is sitting on Santa's lap. That's not me. And maybe you haven't had this particular experience, but where you want something really bad, like you're a kid, you want to sit on Santa's lap, and all of a sudden you sit there and everything's strange. Santa looks different up close. And all of a sudden you want to be back with your parents again. To me, probably the greatest hell you could visit on me would be to go back and grant all of the requests I made of Santa Claus and ship them to my house now. At the time, I was suffocating to get whatever that was, whatever that toy was. Not only would that not be meaningful to me now, it would be very bothersome now. Can you imagine if all the people you had a crush on suddenly showed up? It would be hell. So you have that verse that says God isn't going to give you, if you pray for bread, you're not going to get a scorpion. And there was a type of, stone. There was a type of bread in the Middle East looks sort of like rocks sometimes to us. That's what real bread looks like. They also had fish, when you looked at them in the murky water, sometimes distinguishing between a snake and a fish was difficult. So what it's saying is, if we could get all of our immature wishes granted, we'd be more miserable than we are now. So what we're really needing through prayer is to discover what we really want. Listen to the verse from the Sophia passage. This is the ask. See if this sounds like your Sunday school. It doesn't sound like mine. So the true meaning of wisdom is the desire to learn, and to be passionate about learning is to love her. Again, the word Sophia is feminine. The true meaning of wisdom is the desire to learn, and to be passionate about learning is to love her. See, with that understanding of wisdom, you could take up science. You could be honest. What I was taught is to memorize answers. And as I've said before, they were answers to questions I wasn't asking. What if you understood prayer as going into a deep process of transformation? Where when you ask for something, you kept going deeper. What do I want? Why do I want that? Where's this coming from? Is it an object I want? Or is it something deeper and more profound than that? I was changed very much by a game we used to play in my neighborhood. I was sort of the inventor of games in our neighborhood, and most of them were wicked games. For example, one of the games we played was Evil Genie. I was the evil genie. And the other neighborhood kids would come up with a wish. To wish for something, and the purpose of the evil genie was to mess it up, to give them what they asked for, but in a way that made it bad. So if they asked for $1 million, it'd be $1 million Confederate dollars, or $1 million that had been robbed from a bank nearby. Something like that. You get the general idea. But then one day, one of the kids wished for happiness. And the evil genie couldn't think of a very good way to mess that up. And I stayed with it and realized that the inner virtues that the mystics talk about are things that are beyond fate in a very important sense. That when I wish for courage, temperance, wisdom, justice, those lead me to happiness in a way that objects can't, or that accidents of fate cannot. So when you ask and you don't receive, the suggestion here is it's because you're asking for something you already have, but it has to grow out of you. It's like a bee doesn't have to look for honey, the bee has to look for pollen. The sweetest qualities of human being come out of living deeply. They cannot be given to us from the outside in. So what the mystics have always said is, instead of looking for all the external things, find the inner treasures, and those will grow. But you discover them in seed form. You never discover them directly because they have to grow from the inside out. That's what makes them yours. That's what makes them something nobody else could steal. Not even fate. The second part of the phrase is seek and you shall find. That really changes when we think in terms of wisdom. If you're looking for wisdom, that's different than just a blank checklist. If you're seeking compassion, wisdom, it's very different than just saying whatever you seek, you're going to find. Listen again to the passage from Sophia. She, Sophia, wisdom, searches the far ends of the earth for those who are worthy of her, and she appears to them on their daily path with kindness, meeting them halfway in all of their journeys. Why do you think when Jesus is supposedly talking just about prayer, he ends with, therefore, treat others as you would have them treat you? This is the whole meaning of the law and the prophets. He wasn't just talking about us praying for things that we want. He was talking about us being deeply transformed. And what I think is being said is when we're looking for wisdom, it's around us all the time. There's a great saying by Rumi, the Sufi. It's not as good as the Santa Claus, but it's good. What you seek is seeking you. Every particle in the universe reverberates with every other part. That's not just mysticism, that's science. So the universe is in conversation with us, with our awareness. When you are prepared to learn and you walk through a forest, what happens? It explodes with communication. If you're expecting the animals to speak English, it's probably not going to be that good of a trip. But if you're willing to learn their language, then all kinds of things can happen. There's a saying in Taoism that without going outside of your house, you can discover everything there is. There's enough wisdom in your yard to get a college degree's worth of information and more. Life speaks to us. Life guides us. If we seek that, then it's right there. It's closer than our breath. We're not lost. We're not alone. We just need to stop talking for a second and listen. And wisdom is right there. The difference between the idea of a magical, powerful God and this gentle teaching spirit is that when we don't get what we want, we somehow think we've fallen short with the magical, powerful deity. But when we think of life as teaching us, then we just know we need to go deeper. We need to become more intimate. We have to draw close. Jesus said that God's love is like the sunlight. It falls on the just and the unjust. You do not have to beg. You do not have to seek as though it were someplace else. You just have to become attentive and reverent and observant. And then it's right there. Then the third promise that's here is when you knock, the door will be open. There's a very famous picture of this truth. This is the Scandinavian Jesus. If you want his hair products, we sell those after church. So this is obviously not somebody from the Middle East. And notice that the door does not have a doorknob. It seems to me the author was trying to say that we have to open from the inside out. That God isn't hiding from us behind some mystical door that we have to knock and implore. That we're locked in our own heart, we're locked in our own ego. And the Spirit is talking to us, leading us out. Have you ever been in a door that you're supposed to push and you pulled it? Or pull and you pushed it and you stuck there until you, okay, there's a different way to do this? We can get stuck like that in prayer. When we think what we want is for the door to open and us get toys. When what our heart longs for is to be transformed and to open up. It's like a caterpillar longing to be the butterfly. Jesus didn't come to talk about himself. He's saying that love, that compassion, that courage is in you. And every small action takes you in that direction. If we just think about it, it's not going to happen. But every time you act on your hope, on your value, on your love, on your curiosity, doors open. This is the way the Sophia passage says it. Wisdom reveals herself to all who desire to know her, and those who rise early and search for her will not grow weary of the journey, for they will find her seated at the door. I don't think it's a coincidence that Jesus constantly seems to be referring to and sometimes even quoting the Sophia passages. When he talks about himself, he always talks about going through himself to find something else. You ever notice that? I'm the door, I'm the path, I'm the gate. He says, I'm not talking about myself. Within you, there is a wisdom, a compassion, a curiosity, and a courage. And Jesus is trying to give birth to that. But it's not a one-time incident. It's a way of life. That when we live in curiosity and courage, doors open. We don't pray for God to save our children from getting shot while we're basically lobbying for weapons manufacturers. Become ambassadors for peace is what we do. We swim upstream. As Gandhi said, we become the change that we seek to see. in the world. So I believe that one of the most important transformation that needs to take place in modern Christianity deals with prayer. And it's to move from the power model of a male king who gives out magical grants wishes to something that's written in you from birth. You are a child of the cosmos. You do not have to beg. If you ask and it seems like you haven't received, that means that you haven't realized that you already have it. It just needs to blossom. You need to nurture. You need to care for it. And if it seems like you seek and you never find, it's because you don't realize that all of life is teaching you. And what you're looking for is nearer than your very breath. Finally, if it seems like you've knocked on doors and they just don't open, realize it's because either you're knocking on the wrong door, it's not really one you want to go through anyway, or it opens outward into life, into love, into blossoming. This isn't the loss of our childhood religion. It deepens it, it broadens it, it makes it better. Well, this is my ponderings on this passage. Ask, seek, knock. We'll take a moment now for you to think about how you would have preached this.
Please join me in our call to service and offering. We celebrate our gifts of this community, our generosity, our compassion, our sense of justice. When we give freely of our time, resources, and talents, we work to make our world a better place for all. This is our calling as human beings and as a people of faith. May our open hearts and open hands change us and help change the world. Will the ushers please come forward?
thank you so much for being here. This is your staff. If you're, this is the whole, everybody's here. Just about, this is Carol. If you're new and you'd like to learn more, she's the person to talk to. Then skipping Babs for a second. Marcia is serving as chaplain. So if you have questions or you'd like prayer or somebody to listen to, Marcia's available. If you have issues on either sickness or healthy living, our parish nurse, Donna, we're very lucky to have her. And anything dealing with people who are younger than me, Erica. Yeah, it's really exciting. She's really developing some exciting gifts to our young people without chaining their minds to old things, to open it. So that's very exciting. And then everything else is Babs. I'll be at the refreshments. So if you'd like refreshments, you're certainly welcome to. We always have good refreshments. If you just need to leave and run out the door, that's absolutely fine too. We have.
But please don't leave. We have some important things coming. We have Meet the Ministers for anybody who wants to come for a light lunch and to talk and meet people from the church and our staff in the Sunrise Room. In here, we have the Building the American Dream movie from the Immigrant Support Group, and Earth Care has a meeting in one of the children's classrooms. And as we go forth, may our prayers be transformed so that they're not requests, but rather they're us being able to realize that our heart opens from the inside. And as we open it from the inside, that which we are seeking is always seeking us. Amen.